It's been a long, tough year, but we're back.
That's right, we've been through so much, even pad.
And you'll understand that joke in about 3 months' time. Now, we should clarify that me and James are the only returning members of last year's Level Up team.
Yes, and we're only about 88.8% sad to see them go.
But we've got a new team of mentors here to help you all throughout your first semester, including our man behind the scenes, Tyler the director.
Now, we've upped our game from last year though, along with some recurring segments from last year's show. We also have some new things for you.
To start with, we're going to be telling you exactly what to expect in your first semester.
Yes, you may be expecting the worst. Mountains of work, sleepless nights, taking on a terrible diet.
And you'd be wholeheartedly correct. But you go through it all together.
No, but for real, your first semester is all about getting the lay of the land, finding out what works for you and what doesn't, but most importantly, it's about meeting each other.
I mean, it sounds cheesy, but the people around you are in exactly the same boat. They're also the same people that you'll be sharing an industry with. So do what you can to get to know them as early as possible. That may even involve going out and socialising.
Speaking of that leads us into our next segment. For many of you, nightlife will be a heavy feature in your first semester, and it's important that you stay safe at all times.
Many of you may have came to uni to get away from nagging parents, but for the next few minutes, we're going to sound a lot like them. Let's get the ins and outs of the nightlife scene and getting boozy with Boris.
It's a well-known fact that students will flock to alcohol quicker than the Prime Minister can attempt to close Parliament. Good day, chaps and chapettes. My name is Boris Wilbert Cambridgeson, Oxbridge V, Earl of the Cumberbund Estate. You might recognise me from my show, where I engage in some television and laugh at the common Mogglebox. Today I've been hired by the Level Up show to provide you with 5 general safety tips that only a man like me can. If I've learned one thing from my parents, it's that planning is always important when trying to sabotage the North. So, before you leave your luxurious accommodation, make sure you've had your minimum wage earning employees draft up an itinerary to map out your evening. Knowing where you're going at all times is the pinnacle of self-serving safety. Now, you must always be careful with your spending. Perhaps you should take a set amount of Great British Pound notes with you. You know, the kind with Her Majesty's face on, and hopefully soon our Lord and Saviour, Miss Thatcher. This way you will not spend beyond your means. It could prove disastrous if you did, and you may then have to dip into your offshore account. When I leave the house to drink with my chums, I'll always have a 3-course meal at a high-class restaurant, typically consisting of venison or something of the sort, with a small glass of wine to go along with it. White, of course. You may not have such a luxury. Do make sure you eat well before drinking. This will ensure that you don't get drunk immediately. You won't feel compelled to throw up, and you'll be more polite and considerate to the bar staff who really don't actually care about you. I'm sure your chums will still be those you attended private school with, but regardless of whom you're accompanied by, always remember to go in groups and look after each other. Nightlife in the city can be dangerous. I tend to frequent country clubs. Now, stick to crowded and busy streets and look after one another. After all, as the saying goes, for the few, not the many. Although, thanks to my parents, I don't have to worry, as I have friends in very high places. We all crave what we don't have. Scottish independence, a female president, and someone else's drink. Never leave your drinks, coats, handbags unattended, although that would be foolish, wouldn't it? Like leaving your daughter in a pub. Always Always ensure someone is keeping an eye out. And if no one is available, carry your belongings with pride. Why wouldn't you want to show off that Primark handbag to everyone in your vicinity? Oh. Some bloody awful people just want to ruin your night. They may try and mess with your drinks or take something from you by just slipping their hand inside your wallet. Don't let it happen. My bloody school professor did the same very thing. For the final leg of your evening, you'll need to figure out how to get home safely. At 4 a.m. on the dot every morning, my personal driver Betsy arrives in the Bentley to take me home. Now, if for some reason you don't have a personal driver, you can get one on Uber or Ola. Simply download the app and sign up. Refer as many friends to get continued free journeys and get yourself home safely. Finally, if you're having financial concerns, you can use the university's A to B taxi scheme. By calling the number below and quoting the Student Save Scheme, they'll deliver you home and you can return payment to the Student Union the very next day. Now, remember, if you can help any of your friends home, do so. Whether that's booking an Uber for them or tracking their journeys or anything else, just do your best. It's very charitable. Well, that was a bloody spot of good work there, helping those students. You know, I'm feeling a treat. I think I might actually bump tuition fees up by 10%. That'll be it from me. Just keep these tips in mind and you'll be having a safe, well-planned, enjoyable evening out of the European Union. Until next time, cheerio! Oh my God, those absolute students filming me still. There are plenty of things that students love about the student life.
And one of those things is often reading as little as they can, which is why James has broken this next bit down.
Yes, now, I have devised the perfect abbreviation for this segment, which is LSD.
Oh, what? What?
Lots of super deals.
Well, that's more like it, but what are these deals, James? What do we get?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It all lies in a little app called UniDays.
Ah, yes, UniDays, the Martin Lewis of student loans.
Yes, UniDays is a student's best friend. From fashion to food to technology to fitness, UniDays has it all in abundance.
All you have to do is download the app, sign up with the uni details, and the discounts are ready for you.
Remember that jacket you wanted from H&M but weren't willing to pay £25 for? It's £20 now.
You know that Subway craving you've been having? Meal deal, $3.50.
Just get the app ID open, take it into the shop, and you'll have your meal deal faster than you can say toasted.
Or if you're a recluse like me, not to worry, you just have to redeem the code on the app, put it in your H&M online order, and Hermes will launch your parcel onto your neighbour's shed in a jiffy.
Now, we're not in the end game yet, my friends. Kieran, did you know that you can get 20% off a MacBook or an iPad and get free beats along with your purchase?
I did not. 20%. And if you, just like most people, have £800 just lying aside, raring to get spent, then get on it. James, did you know you can get 6 months of Amazon Prime for free and then 50% off after that?
I did not. 6 months free? You're telling me that I could spend 6 whole months just watching the US Office all day, every day?
But there's plenty of better stuff on there to watch. What kind of cheap, tacky show gets its laughs from glancing at the camera and shock zoom? As long as you always remember your student card or UniDays, your student discounts are covered. It may even be as simple as getting a student price ticket to the cinema. Then you can go and happily watch your film while seeing what losers cry over the death of a fictional character like Iron Man.
Discounted music, discounted film. The only thing going cheaper than that is the pound.
There's still a lot left coming up, but before we proceed, here's a word from our sponsors.
We have sponsors? For those of you who aren't living under your parents' roof, you're going to need a place to live.
You can't stay in halls of residence forever like your vomit stains and mouldy pasta can, so you're going to need to get a place.
This next segment is going to show you exactly what not to do when dealing with a weird, shady landlord.
Thanks, James. Going to uni often involves moving house, possibly for the very first time. Now, this can be a new and slightly scary experience, so we've put together an informative video to get you started. I've came to a dodgy house viewing in order to show you some things to beware of. They don't deed, is it? Hello there, I'm Darryl, I'm here about the house viewing.
Oh yeah. Come in.
Now, I've met with this landlord directly, but alternatively, you can do all of your interactions through an estate agent. However, we will mostly be focusing on agent-free interactions today. Lucky me.
Yeah, so through there we've got a kitchen, everything you want. We've got a cooker, sink, washer, cooker, and we've got a garden. Yeah, I mean, I like this house. It's lit. Yeah, so we've got the living room. The sofa's only brand new. Ironing board. You want to go and make yourself look better and all that. TV. Computer games over there, Game Boy or whatever, then radiator, vacuuming, so yeah, anything you want then, mate. So, this is the garden. Yeah, you know, got grass, got a washing line. A bucket. So, this is the bedroom.
There's no windows.
You what?
There are no windows.
No, some people like that. Some even prefer it.
Aye, maybe Dracula, but despite my paleness, I'm not in his clique. Oh, what is that smell? Oh God, is that mould?
Nah, it's not bad. People cleaned up before you move in.
And then my way aside. He's talking nonsense. Landlords or agents trying to play down problems in the property or just trying to shift it. If there is a problem that you can see, then get it written into the contract that they'll sort it. Can we get this in the contract?
We don't normally do contracts.
No. Get one. Without a contract, a landlord is free to take whatever money you give them and no even give you a room. Even if they do, then they're free to kick you out whenever they please. Now, depending on whether you're with an agency or with friends, this can be a pretty stressful experience. Most of this will be handled by an agency if you choose to go through one. However, they will incur admin fees, which look like this. That'll be £100, please. Except in Scotland, where we've banned them. So if you've any sense, go up there. If not, then it's your own decision to make based off your own confidence and resources and money, whether or not to go directly to a landlord or to an agency. Hi man, thank you very much.
Yeah, and you, yeah. I'm a good person.
As you've all hopefully discovered so far, the School of Media is segmented into specialisms. There's production, music industries, journalism, PR, film, and for those who struggle to make decisions, media and comms.
Now, we were going to give you advice for each of them, but honestly, any of the advice we would have given could be transferable between each one. Instead, we'll be giving you tips and tricks that will resonate with all of you.
First and foremost is a tip directly from my own experiences. If you have a laptop that you plan to use daily, do not waste a ton of cash on paper, pens, etc. because you won't ever use them. I've still got 4 sealed boxes of varying pens from my first year.
Get your placements early. Never leave it to the last minute. Otherwise, you'll spend the last 2 weeks of summer begging for work.
And if you're given an opportunity, take it. If you don't, then somebody else will, and they'll be the ones getting the top placements. Get your name out there early.
Oh, last piece of advice. Go to your lecturers. You're paying £9 a year for this. Missing a lecture is like throwing 150 quid out the window.
Please note though that everything we've said here is down to personal preference. The plus of the media industry is you have so much freedom in the way you do things. Speaking of freedom and placements though, student Daryl, who we spoke to last year, got his placement with a certain unnamed TV company as a weatherman. Let's see how he's been getting on.
Good morning, afternoon, or however long it's taken your hangover to subside. I'm Darryl Devine, and I'll be bringing you all the weather over your first term at uni. Summer will be long gone come the end of September, but worry not. Climate change should keep the sun around long enough for you to receive your student loan. A wonderful and engaging moment where you feel on top of the world. Coming into October, skies will turn grey, much like your roots once you realise uni isn't all about having fun and parties. There's a bit of work involved. This period is all about keeping up a balancing act between study hours and happy hours. Make sure you keep warm and well fed during this time and don't overdo the student lifestyle. It's easier than you'd think. Drinking, smoking, gambling and various other things the producers won't let me mention. They may seem fun at first, but like a Boris Johnson government, you'll come to regret it in the long term. Finally, we'll arrive in December. Now, it's easy to confuse it with November because all the Christmas tunes start a month early because #capitalism. This may be the coldest and stressiest month of your first year, as it's likely to be when you have your deadlines and hand-ins.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping.
Once they're dealt with, you may go home to see your nearest and dearest. This could be your first holiday home after moving out, and is an opportunity to prove you're a successful adult, and not some cringy, drunk, panicking mess, stumbling aimlessly through the best years of your life towards a doomed existence, in a society which frankly hates you, and on a planet that's going to eventually kill you and take away all your cheap petrol. Back to you, boys.
Well, that got depressing real quick. Thanks for whatever that was, Darryl.
Finally, to wrap up the show, we're going to take things down a more serious route for a second. Not everything you do in your first year will be award-winning. Sure, they may still be great, and naturally you can look back on them with pride, but don't expect Hollywood-worthy work right away.
Just to show you what we mean, and to sign us out, here's an exaggerated look at some of our own work from the first 2 years.
Welcome to The Buzz. We have a packed show for you today. We will get to talk to Imogen, the woman who walks around campus wearing steampunk-style clothing.
I like turtles.
We will be discussing body image and body confidence after a lovely VT on burlesque dancing and the Burlesque Society.
Somebody come get her, she's dancing like a stripper.
We will get to see the amazing artwork of John Watson, who is a very impressive artist with only one hand. Apologies, I was reading a book last night, Sherlock Holmes, and sadly it was John Watson. So just to reiterate the point, that was Josh Watson. We will have the amazing local band, The Fidgets, performing their single, Everywhere I Go, to play us out.
I don't wanna be a hero.
Nice.
Now. Let's take a look at some of our favourites. This is Libby from Newport after making herself a delicious dessert. What do you think, Zach?
Wow, I'm loving the mug actually. Quite nice actually. It's,
Can't see what it makes out, but
very nice indeed. I'm loving it, man.
So what's next?
Here's before and after Nick in a Glasgow's attempt after the brownie.
I'm assuming that the one on your side is the before.
Ooh, I'm loving it. I actually love brownie. Since I was like 5 years old, I was always addicted to brownie, man.
So anyway, next up we have Sed from Wolverhampton, who's made a cheesy pizza, and as you can see, he's very proud of that.
Wow, very smiley. I love smiley people, man. Yeah. Looking at Poppy and her sisters tucking into her chocolate cakes.
Family bonding at its finest.
They look very happy, very happy.
And finally, Charlie from Worcester with her pizza. I think it's clear to say which one's before and after on that, don't you think?
I actually love herbs on pizza myself. Very, very tasty. It puts a lot of flavour into it.
Very underrated.
Yeah, you think so?
So thank you so much for your tweets and make sure to keep them coming in.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f is that?
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Hot once again. Peter Douglas Osborne is as intent as ever in finding out what happened.
The story starts on April the 18th, 1943, when four lads who've been certainly egg collecting, but possibly poaching as well in Hagley Woods, come across a large wych elm which encloses what seems to be something interesting with a skull on top of it, and turns out to be the body and bone.
It's too long and much too long. Feel it coming on. The feeling's getting strong.
Obviously between 1 and 2 years later, and to say that it was a prostitute does clear up the problem and make the police able to finish the case and put it to bed.
It's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for coming to talk about your book today, Mr. Devil.
Please, call me Lucifer, or Satan, or Iblis, or Mr. Morningstar, or Marilyn Manson. Or you can call me by my personal favourite, Daddy.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f is that?
Hi guys, my name is Leonie Buck and I studied Media and Communication Broad course. I graduated in July 2018. Before I finished uni, I actually started a job at Channel 5 as production management intern. I was there for a year and I got to work on Cruising with Jane McDonald, MTV Cribs UK, 5 Mistakes That Caught a Killer. And then after that I went freelancing, which is what I'm doing now, and I've just started a new project for one of the world's leading streaming providers. I can't tell you who, I can't tell you what, which is so sad because it's so exciting, but make sure you watch out. One bit of advice would be probably make sure you speak to tutors, not just your own tutor, speak to your friends' tutors, speak to anyone. They have the most amount of knowledge any of you would have and it's just incredible, and they're your friends as well. You make friends with them, you find common ground, and yeah, that's probably my bit of advice. Make sure you have an amazing time. It's all fun, bit of stress, but yeah, make the most of it because it goes so quickly, and hope you had an amazing time at Freshers. And yeah, good luck guys.
Hey guys, my name's Tom Hall and I graduated the Media and Communications Broad course in 2018, like it seems like only yesterday. But I landed my first graduate job here at Hits Radio in Manchester as an imaging producer. I work across the Hits Radio Network, the Greatest Hits Radio Network and Country Hits Radio, which I absolutely love and it's amazing. My best bits of advice for anyone in first year is, because you're in first year, don't think you're a first year. And what I mean by that is get stuck in, do amazing work experience placements in any company you want. Don't think just because you're in first year you have to do some small company. Go out there and get BBC, come to Bauer, go to Global, do whatever you want, and obviously the most important thing is enjoy it because it goes so quickly and you'll be working here before you know it, so yeah, enjoy!
Hi, my name's Erin. I studied PR at the Birmingham School of Media, graduating in 2018. Since graduating, I've been working in the communications industry in all things PR, social and digital content. My advice to you getting into your studies would be to say yes to every opportunity that comes your way, as you'll gain great hands-on experience and meet amazing contacts that will help you throughout your studies with those all-important first steps into the industry and your career going forward. You're in for the best 3 years, you're in very capable hands, and good luck!